We're here with Charles Joe, former SWAT member, now SWAT trainer for LAPD, has a lot of experience in the field and wants to have a quick chat about the involvement of Airsoft within that training situation and how it's progressed over the last few years. So I'll let you quick introduce yourself and then you can tell us about how Airsoft fits in.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Charles Joe, and I had 25 years with LAPD and last 12 on our full-time SWAT team, where I was a firearms instructor, a sniper, a tactical diver, explosive breacher, a negotiator, EMT as well. I wore a lot of hats while I was on the team.
You've done it all.
And I've been retired for about 4 years. They currently keep me as a reserve for LAPD SWAT, where I do training. I run training for outside SWAT teams, for other units of our police department as well. And I run a training company called TRICELL USA, and I'm a co-founder of a shooting range where it's unique in the sense that we've got 100 acres, 50 is dedicated to the public, where we see about 5,000 people a month rent private bays and shoot and rent guns and so forth. But I've got a project, it's 50 acres back on the hidden side, where I'm developing an international training institute, where I've got a live fire shoot house, plans for that, 5-story rappelling tower. We do currently training, post-certified training, which is a standard that the United States holds and allows a private company like myself to give out continuing education credits that agencies need to maintain their police officer standards of training. So I was very fortunate in doing that, but part of that journey allowed me to research the airsoft industry way back from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And from there, obviously, it had took many different leaps and bounds in the evolution and growth, and I've been keeping my eye steadily on it. Back then, they really didn't have a practical, I guess, a link or bridge into the type of training that we currently do and did back then that needed to have that seamless transition. That's where Simunition, UTM, and companies of the like kind of took the place. And with their system, if you're not familiar, it's more of the projectile marking systems, and it comes out that way. But inherent problems with that I've seen over the years is that a lot of maintenance issues. You've got, for the Simunition side, you've got actual marking issues that come out, and they try to simulate actual casings that come out, 9mm casings, and what that did or still does is creates a lot of interruptions in the way of the projectiles getting trapped and jammed inside the barrels, and you got to take time, or it requires a lot of maintenance and cleaning and oil, like your own duty weapon. So that with cops, you have to make everything foolproof and as simple as possible.
And seamless.
If there's any remote possibility that they can break, we will break it. And so that's that. And the UTM system is you actually use your assigned issued weapon platform, which is at that time was my HK 416 D 10.5-inch barrel, and we would actually break the upper receiver up, take the bolt carry assembly, put the UTM bolt in there, and now you're driving plastic less lethal rounds through your pristine duty weapon. And so I've always had an issue with that. But I was waiting and monitoring the airsoft industry to see if they can come up with a platform that seamlessly can now be introduced into our training cycle. And we train so much that you'd have to have a lot of different, meet a lot of different criteria, and it's come to a point where it's right there. It's right there. So, this is the cusp, the pioneering forefront of how the two big worlds are merging now. And we're trying to find some seamless ways to get that across in training.
Right, okay. And you're partnered with G&G for how long now?
It's been about 1.5 to 2 years now.
Right, okay.
And it was, in the beginning, it was interesting in the sense, how are we gonna merge? How am I gonna adapt and see that transition happen? And I thought it was a lot more difficult than it really is, but it's actually not. It's on the weapons platform that we're using, the AR, the battery operated. It's literally zero maintenance except remembering to charge the battery. And there's no lubrication, there's nothing you really do, and the cost of the actual BBs, it's just not even negligible. So that was an easy transition. And the biggest one was the operator using the system. They don't have to overpad themselves. They don't have to wear these big cumbersome bubble helmets where you can't hear, it fogs up and everything. The recommendation is just clear eye pro, and so that's a big plus. You don't have to wear these padded knuckle gloves as well, because that's where a majority of the officers get hit. You shoot at the weapon, at the threat, so their hands again. So you end up wearing these real big padded gloves, where it's hard to manipulate the fine motor skills. So there's another, as far as hurdle that you have to overcome. So eliminate all those things. My philosophy is your training platform should not interrupt the flow of a real life mission. Right? You shouldn't be geared down on, I'm going to pad up extra or wear these protective gear to protect myself. But in real life, now you're creating training scars. So all that was kind of how the two worlds survive, and now we're trying to blend it together and see if we can, seamlessly just adapt the current Airsoft system into the training that we'd like to accomplish.
And we spoke a little bit about this off camera. You talk about maintaining the seamlessness of the training op, and that's one of the main reasons for not going. I mean, a lot of our viewers are probably thinking, why aren't you using gas blowback weapons? Because they're the most realistic. But as we discussed off camera, explain again why that is.
Right. So for the gas blowback system, it might seem for the lay person or someone that's not involved in my tactical world, they might think that'd be great. They focus a lot on the R&D on creating this realistic or near realistic experience with that weapon system. Gas blowback. It creates a sense, a feel of the recoil. And that's actually, in reality, the operator could care less about how near or close to the recoil you can replicate, because in a real gunfight, that's the last thing you're thinking about. And I, to be quite honest, never even dawned on me or recollect that, my gun is blowing back or gas recoil or jumping. No, you're just focusing on the target at hand. So we're kind of taking away the focus from the threat, seamlessly accomplishing the threat, to let's make it feel like it's a real system. Where in reality, all your senses are focused. You have hearing. As far as deprivation, you don't hear anything. Your feeling goes to your gross motor skills. So you're not really working on or paying attention to all the fine little nuances that happen. It's just, you're looking at basically your lizard brain to go accomplish the task and how seamlessly, efficiently. So I think we take away focus from what's truly at hand, is how to not focus on the weapon system, but that allows you to seamlessly train properly, as opposed to we're trying to build this artificial feeling of gas blowback and all that stuff. All that really requires is the weight of the gun is 1-to-1, is true, and the manipulations of the gun is true to your real-world weapon system. And that's all that matters. Even doing speed reloads and mag reloads, that's mildly interesting, because you're not the likelihood of you're gonna be focusing a lot on speed reloads, mag reloads. You do that on the live fire range with your weapons, you train enough of that, but in a live fire shootouts or in runs, we really don't incorporate the reloads or the malfunctions. You don't shoot that much.
You don't concentrate on things like the correct function of the bolt and bolt release and things like that.
Right. Yeah, that's the time you build that in, that muscle memory, if you will, the integration on the square range with live fire. There's separate time and place for that. But for scenario training, where the Airsoft is designed for, you're not going to hammer those skill sets. All you want is a weapon that's not going to interrupt or interfere with the movement and the training and the mission.
Right. Okay. Excellent. just quickly before we round this out, do you also? It's all right, we're filming, but thanks, Ryan. Obviously, you're doing all this in the US at the moment. Have you been approached, or have you approached other countries? I mean, speaking from personal experience, working in the shop, we occasionally deal with local law enforcement, and they have purchased the odd Airsoft replica for training purposes, but it seems to be very, very much an individual case, independent choice of that individual department, if you see what I mean. You know, is this something you're looking to reach this out to other countries as well? And
most definitely.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I've discovered this new system that has emerged recently through technology, through just different means that now our worlds have collided to where it's like this aha moment. You know, I found this new system that can seamlessly integrate into our training without interrupting, without adding any unnecessary tools or any unnecessary steps.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is, like I've said in the talk earlier today with all the other press, is that we're kind of pioneering this whole new venture with trying to find that gap and the means to introduce, because cops, like I say, and I can speak for you know, my department and cops in the U.S. is like, they complain all the time about the current system, but they don't want to change.
Yeah.
You know, so you're stuck in this little loop, if you will,
Yeah.
and they're not open to innovative. You know, and I think for me, it took kind of the opportunity for me when I retired, open up my horizon, see all these different opportunities. Now I can say pick and choose and do the research. I've got the time now to do the research properly, and then now be that ambassador to the departments and bring them back. Say, hey, I've done the thorough research where I didn't have that much time when I was still active full time. So now I can sit there and deep dive into certain issues, knowing the criteria, knowing what I'm looking for. I can actually spend the time and deep dive and make the suggestions back and forth. Tweak this, tweak that, and then trying to bring it to where it's a no-brainer. So other departments and units can say, well, yeah, you've hit all the questions that we would potentially have. I've already addressed it because I haven't been an operator and gone through the frustrations or struggles, saying, yeah, here it is. It's a no-brainer, right? There is how we've evolved or devolved into the less lethal platform that was integrated for all the years, how we've still accepted that not to look at other change. For instance, like my pristine duty weapon, I've cleaned every night ready for the mission. Now I'm gonna break that receiver, I'm putting a less lethal and close it and run plastic out my barrel. It didn't make sense, but there was no alternative, you know, until now.
Until now, so yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Again, Charles Joe. Check out the website. We'll have links in description, etc. But interesting chatting to you. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Always. Thank you.
Cheers.